is what happens, how do we get into 10th, 12th and college and so on. So while that is fine, so we are not really discussing that today. We are more going ahead and saying, hey, why give 10th and 12th and college? Why not choose a route which is otherwise? Yeah. So we'll come to that in just a minute. So many of you know us, know all about Aarohi, but just in case somebody is logged in who does not know about Aarohi, um, so I'm Ratnesh and she's Aditi, and we are from Aarohi, which is an open learning community which welcomes all learners of all different abilities, different styles, different interests, different learning. And in this community, everybody learns together, learns by doing what one wants, and yeah, doing their own self-assessment. And the best part, which at least I think is the best part, is that it's a community. So a lot of people are together, a lot of people to nudge, punch, help, support, laugh aloud with each other. So that's what Aarohi is. So we will not really be talking about Aarohi today, at least not in the first 1 hour. And uh, so if you have questions specific to Aarohi, either you can wait till about, let's say, 6 o'clock or somewhere around that, 6:15, and and then we can take your questions, or you can come back to us, uh, and we can do it on a phone call another day. So that depends on your time, our time today. Yeah. Okay. So I want to clarify one thing. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take about 7 to 8 minutes to run through a few group of slides that I've prepared, um, to give you kind of an overview of how we are looking at this. So just a small time, just 5 to 8 minutes. And then we will come back to the same slides, and then we will kind of dissect each one, or rather have all question and answers on each one of those. So if you have questions as I'm going through the slides, please note them down. All those questions are welcome. Not yet type in chat window, because then we have kind of get distracted. So just hear me out for about, as I said, 5-7 minutes, and we need to stop now. Yeah. And then we will we'll take it from there. Yeah, we'll go into each one and talk in detail. Okay, so I'm looking forward to a very interactive session. And also today is a session where we are more going to discuss the concept, or the way, or the paradigm of what we call as HeadStart. Sorry, let me put the slide. Sorry, I need something. And and then sorry, and then some of you would definitely have a question that, okay, so now that we have kind of understood the concept, or at least got introduced to the concept, how do we go about and actually do it? So we intend to do a sequel next Saturday, which is more like implementing this, right? So if you have implementation questions, you'll have to wait for a week. Right, the idea today is just to look at this whole concept. Yeah. Now, the words that we have chosen to use are partly, I would call them as sensational, partly you can say, because we didn't have another better term. Maybe over time, you can suggest better terms for whatever we are using. Yeah. So we have chosen the term Head Start, not in any competitive scenario, not like Head Start over others, but it's almost like Head Start over myself, or in a way, not even Head Start over myself, Head Start vis-a-vis another option, or let's see how this term develops. Yeah. Okay, so what are we talking about? Yeah, what are we talking about is, by default, I would say I would even go up to say almost 100% of the people think that the child has to do 10th and then 12th and then college. Most of the people, okay, let's say 98%, let's leave 2% out. right? Now that is fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that route. We are not trying to argue against that route. Rather, we are trying to bring about, hey, is there another way to look at our child's learning and life, right? Where the child is not caught up with 10th, 12th, and college. Rather, the child has time, space, resources, opportunities, everything to actually do what the child wants to do. So I've kept it as develop his or her passions, and I've purposefully kept it plural. So the idea is not that there has to be one passion. A child may have three, four. Uh, as children kind of grow over the 10-year kind of landmark, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, some of them at least start narrowing down the kind of explorations that they are doing to few. They may not narrow it down to one, some narrow it down to one. In that case, it is a singular passion, but some narrow it down to few, in which case it's multiple passions. So we have one daughter who is now 22 who explored multiple passions, and we have one son who is 15 who is exploring one passion. So we have both examples right within our family. And the whole idea is that, okay, if I'm not giving 10th, 12th, and college, then I'm simply saving a lot of time, and getting a lot of space to actually do what I want to do. And I'm actually getting a head start in the sense that I can start much earlier
Right.
pursuing what I want to pursue, rather than wait for all of that to get over and then actually, my college to get over, and then maybe I start pursuing it, or maybe at a postgraduate level I start pursuing it. Um, so that's what we are really talking about here. Um, let's look at this in a little more detail. What it takes, what is this Head Start all about, and what does it involve? So I'm assuming this sounds interesting to most of you, though you will have questions, obviously. But this whole thing about, okay, why should I necessarily do 10, 12 college when I can actually devote time on whatever is my passion? So the first thought that we have is, yeah, it is this let go of a lot of things. See, the school or the college has a lot of other, uh, let's just call them as subjects and lots of other things to do, which if I let go of all that, then I get a lot of, as I said, time and space. So we're just saying it's not that the child shouldn't do 10, 12 college. Well, the child can obviously do 10, 12 college if the child needs it, if the child requires it, depending on the kind of profession the child is choosing. But if the child is either not choosing that kind of profession, or even in that kind of profession does not necessarily want to go through that route, then the child can just let go. And I think more than the child letting go, somehow I feel it's us parents who have to let go. Because otherwise the question starts coming, what about maths? And what about science? And what about this? And what about English? And so all of that we have to let go, because actually, if you really see, that's not really, really important, depending on obviously what the child's profession is. So the child can let go of everything else and focus on the few passions that the child is, and the skills those passions require, the child can only focus on that. So that's the first aspect of Head Start, is to let go of everything else which has been kind of become a given in our default conventional education. The second thought is, and this we borrow from Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, the book that he wrote, and the 10,000 hours concept that he came up with. Now we don't necessarily, you can say, completely subscribe to the concept of 10,000 hours, but what he said was, and let's see what we can take out of it, is he says, if you want to become an expert in any field, spend 10,000 hours on it. Now, that's not a small number. 10,000 hours is a lot of numbers. And one extrapolation could be that for the next, let's say, 5.5 years, if I work 44 weeks a year, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day on something, I'm sure I'll become, a master in 5.5 years after 10,000 hours. Now, these 10,000 hours could be spread in 5.5 years or 8 years or 10 years. That's really up to the individual. In fact, it need not even be 10,000. It could even be more than 10,000, or could be less than 10,000. the point is not whether the figure is so important. The point is, I think what he meant, or what it really means to me at least, or us at least, is that not only I dive into my passion, I make it sustained and rigorous. I work on it day in, day out. And when I work on it day in and day out, then over a period of time, let's say whatever, 10,000 hours, I really become an expert, and I become obviously so good at it that I'm both employable, as well as people seek me out because I'm good at it, because I've spent so many hours on it. I've done it. Whatever the stream might be, it could be coding, it could be singing, it could be painting, it could be fashion designing, anything, right? If I've been doing it for 10,000 hours, that's a lot of stuff, right? That's a lot of rigor. So number second point is to do with the rigor after the let go. The third point that I want to share is that it is not just mere rigor, but the rigor is kind of enriched by what we call as deliberate practice or deep practice, what we know as deliberate practice or deep practice, where there is a guidance available, where I'm constantly trying to move ahead, something like the curve on the right hand side. So it's not just I'm doing that will make me good. Suppose I'm into writing, I'm just not writing, I'm taking feedback, I'm taking mentorship, somebody is guiding me or a team is guiding me. And as people, experts guide me, I start taking those frog jumps up and up in my curve, and my skills really develops. So coupled with the rigor, if we have deep guided practice, that kind of really helps the child's development in that particular passion or passions. Yeah. So that's the third aspect of Head Start, where we get into deep guided practice. And obviously, the role of mentors or coaches is very important here, without doubt. The fourth point, and please note, I have one blank side after each, so I'll come back to your thoughts, is that it's not merely practice and skills. Our idea is that every profession kind of requires this, which I love to call as game intelligence, or you can call it life intelligence, or whatever you want to call it. It's not just I need technical skills to do it over and over again. I can kind of expand my canvas to meet people, to read about stuff, to connect with stuff, to dig into history, into lots of other related aspects to whatever is my profession, so that I develop a sense of it, a finesse in it, a kind of an intelligence in it. I'm using these words interchangeably, and this intelligence kind of is far more important than just the skills. So skills you combine with this intelligence. Now, here I'm not talking about the regular intelligence, but I'm talking about that particular domain intelligence, or what I like calling as game intelligence. In fact, I'd put the term on the slide domain intelligence, but I didn't like it. I like the term game intelligence. So it's not just merely that I know how to play chess, but I need to be able to understand. I study a lot of games of a lot of grandmasters. I read books about it. I understand lots of different aspects of strategy. And that's when I start developing what is people say as the game intelligence. Yeah. Oh, somebody's saying they can't hear you. I hope others are able to hear me. Please give me a quick yes so that I know we are okay with the audio. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Now, game intelligence requires a slightly different kind of effort, a different kind of guidance by the mentors, where it's not just doing a lot of possibly what is called as internship in different forms, where you get the worldwide wisdom by doing things and by being there in the field, by trying out a lot of, by dirtying your hands in so many different ways. So this is the dirtying the hands part, and I think this is again where a lot of other support people can play a lot of beautiful role of providing this opportunities for game intelligence. This cannot be handed over. I can't just copy paste from somebody else's book or notes. I need to uh, I need to learn this on my own by doing it, and by exploring it, by understanding it, by immersing myself into it. Yeah. So that's the fourth and the last point that I have. Okay, I have one more slide just taken from football, more because my son himself is in football. So this the green part, the highlighted part, which talks about decision making, focus, awareness, reading plays, peripheral vision, anticipation, working with my teammates, understanding their strengths and weakness, and playing to them, and so on. So many things come under the game intelligence. Yeah. So that's the fourth part. And the fifth part, which is a very interesting aspect. A lot of people, when I talk about this, or some people, not a lot of people, some people say, oh, but what if the child deep dives into, let's say, one passion and after 4 years say, no, I don't want to do that anymore, right? I would say that is absolutely fantastic. Why? Because, well, it's not the reaching at the top of the mountain that really makes us what we are. It's the climbing that makes us. So, this whole effort, if the child has spent 3 years on a particular passion, and let's say after 3 years just leaves it, moves on to something else, another domain, it doesn't matter. What the child has gained in those 3 years is learning how to learn, learning how to lead himself or herself, and learning how to live, because the child is been designing his or her life for those 3 years. And I think that can be extrapolated to anything else the child wants to do at any other point of time in his life. So the passions can keep changing, which is absolutely no issues at all, because the the deep dive does something to the child, right? So that's the whole idea of learning to live, lead, and live. Learning to learn and learning to lead and learning to live. Yeah. So these are the 5 points which I wanted to share, which I think is a distinct advantage when one is not distracted, I would say. In some cases, I'm not saying in every case, some cases the 10, 12 college is a required thing, which is fine. But in the cases where it is either the child does not want to do it or it is not required, it's definitely worthwhile seriously considering this as an option. So I'm just putting these all together here. Um, but before that, I would say that the key thing that I want to hold on to is this word alive, right? It is for us something makes us come alive, and that is the whole idea. If I know what makes me come alive, even if it's few things, then I can work on that, and that is what will make me both drive my learning, drive my earning. It can easily get me earning, and obviously that can become my life. So that's the whole aspect of looking at of Head Start. Yeah. So I know you've already people have started asking questions. So I knew that this is not a straightforward topic. So sorry. Okay. Yeah, Aditi was reminding me. Just keep all of these together for just a minute, just for people to get the overall picture, I would say, of Head Start, at least the way we look at it. Yeah. And yeah, so I think I've taken more time than I said I would. I need to time myself. Okay. I think we can kind of open to questions, but what I will do is I'll go to each slide back. So now that you know that there are different parts of it, let's try to go, if you're okay with this format, that let's go one slide or one aspect at a time. Yeah. And then see where what are our questions and what are our doubts and so on. Yeah. So I will just zip back to the first one. Yeah. um, yeah, let's look at the questions now. You can type or you can come on mic, and not just questions, you can share your experiences. If you have a life story about yourself or your child, or anybody else, examples help. I've purposefully not given my examples. I would rather have examples from audience, and not audience, you are whatever co-creators of this session. um, yeah. Thoughts, questions. So we are starting with the first concept of let go. Um,
Yes, sir.
Which is asking what would consider as a good time for the parent to let go. Yeah, I don't have an answer to that. It will depend on two, three things. The first is the child showing some specific passion. Uh, Now, if the child wants to explore a lot of different things, which typically I would say younger children do, uh, let's say a 4-year-old may not show a specific passion, so that's okay. But by 8, maybe that same 4-year-old is showing little passion, may not be, maybe vacillating between different interests. I would say let it be. So there is no real age to it. Even at 30, you may not till 30 you may start suddenly showing passion, and then maybe parents should let go. I don't know. So it's to do with when the child starts showing a certain amount of um, passion. And I think if the child is not by the child and the family is not by default thinking ki 10 12th karna hai, and is keeping these conversations open, uh, especially when the children go into their early teens or tweens and teens, 11 12 13 14 15, that's when anyway parents start thinking about 10 12th and college. So I think then by the time the children can decide how they want to approach it. So that's a very long answer to a very short question. Yes, Dwiji, we can talk about it right now, Dwiji. There is time. The let go is about time. So let's not let go the let go. Dwiji, please
Acha.
come on
So,
mic. We want to talk
uh,
about, we have to hear you.
yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So I had two small observations with regard to let go. I
Mm.
completely agree with your point that it's about when the child wants to go, right? So it's not like we should untether them when they're not ready to go, nor is it that we should hold on to them when they want to go,
Yeah.
right? So there has to be a tug. But if there is no tug, right, the most parents are cruising, or most families are cruising in that mode where there is no tug from the child to to untether themselves from the standard paradigm, right? And I think it would be good if you can share some of your thoughts on that aspect, right? I think all of us here
Hi,
agree that when the child wants to go, that's when you let go.
hi,
But
Ratnesh.
Yes,
May I
yes,
just answer that? This is Sandhya.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sandhya. Okay. Can I just answer that question? Because I've been through
Please.
that. I have
Please.
definitely been through
Yes,
that.
we would like stories
Yes.
and especially
Okay.
Sandhya.
So, just as an introduction, my older son is 20 years old, and he has been homeschooled and been to school as well. Grades 9 and 10, 11 and 12. He did go back to school because he wanted to go back and write the exam. The exam was his idea. However, after his 12th, he wanted to do engineering because of his peer pressure. He is gifted in music. I always thought and wanted him to go into it in whichever way he pleased. However, he thought doing engineering would be a safe option so that he could pursue his music also on the side, which I knew will not work for him. So, as a parent here, I knew that uh, he is trying to get uh, bound into something that might not be the right option for him, and he needs to be able to explore. He needs to be let free, which he was not okay with letting go. He did not want to explore because he was scared of the risk that was involved in that. I We had a lot of conversation. I always believe in open conversations with my children as well, and even that was not working because he was more fearful. I just put my foot down and I said, if you want to do your engineering, you have to go and figure it out yourself. I am not going to pay for it. But having said that, he took a gap year that forced him to take a gap year after his 12th grade. And he got an opportunity to intern at one of the MNC companies. It was a free option. And that is where he learned that he learns very differently what I was talking about. He's his path to exploration was there, because there was no pressure on a goal. The learning had no goal. When you are at school or even in homeschooling, some parents have this goal of, when that exam comes, you have to learn this concept, you have to write this exam. While here he got a chance early on, and after that he was able to come back at an interview and he said, I am glad that I was forced to take that gap year, because I feel that I have got an edge in life. It does not matter, this 10th and 12th is not, he got a glimpse into the real world, and even if you're saying career option, he saw what it was like. Now in that, I do believe giving freedom to children, yes, but we being the adults, uh, and we have our thoughts on this. I think we need to sometimes nudge this way or that way,
Yeah.
even if it is to give freedom.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of parent role, which is what I think you actually, all the other points, including this one, is more about parents than about the
Hmm.
child
Hmm.
itself. Yeah,
Yes. So I
absolutely.
just wanted to share this so that
Sure,
he
sure.
knows I've been there. He's 20 now, and doing his own thing. He's done his sound technology, and he is the one who learned coding on his own. He did our website for my business. All of that he's done on his own. Though he's still in sound technology, even there, he decided he did not want to do graduation. By then, after the internship, he realized that those kind of certificates as a degree is not as important for the field that he is choosing. He wanted to learn the either the techniques or the skills or whatever. We had a plan. We went and explored different spaces, and which was his earlier choice. He refused to go there, and he took up a certificate course, I think a diploma or something, because he said my practical knowledge there is more. He was able to analyze,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
what I feel is more important. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sandhya. Thank you for bringing in a life story for us. That itself is so beautiful when the child is leading
Yeah.
his thinking, getting experiences, and then trying to
And
figure
I
out.
think, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what Viji is also reinforcing the role of parents and mentors. So I think also want to bring this point as Viji is reinforcing, and I'm reinforcing that somewhere this confusion arises that if the child is passionate about something, now just child will just get everything by himself, and things will just, it's like, close your eyes and open your eyes and the child is converted into that passionate professional and whatever kind of thing. I think journey is not like that.
It's a
Yeah,
long journey.
it's a whole lot of roles, whole lot of tweaks and nudging, as Sandhya was saying, a whole lot of involvement um, is available and maybe required also, kind of a thing. And that's where yeah, a lot of relationships comes, and if that matters to many of us, kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, couple of people have raised hands. You can just come on mic, as in when you get an opportunity. Somebody was, meanwhile, while you come on the mic, I just want to respond to Ruchi, who's saying he's interested, passionate to join NDA, but does not want to prepare for the same. Well, I would say, yeah. So if he already knows what he needs to prepare, and if he's not preparing, then well, that is not maybe his passion is not yet there. So I would say somebody else was also saying we just need to be more patient for him to realize that yes, he needs to do this if he really wants to go there. Sometimes our as children grow, their interests are they get interested in something more to do with the image out there, more to do with whatever their basic understanding is. There's nothing wrong with it. And they really don't have a full idea about what the life is all about. So I would say one parent role can be to expose the child, take him to different military people, get him to talk to them, what their day-to-day life is, what their last 10 years life has been, and so on. So he gets a more clearer picture, and I think once he has a more clearer picture, he would be able to decide whether he wants to invest into that exam or not. So I would say at this stage more exposure would help. if the child is not very, very clear. If the child is clear, then I guess the child would at some point say, yes, I will prepare for the exam.
Yeah. So also want to bring that, the moment say the child says, I'm interested in cricket. So maybe there are, as Ratnesh was talking about towards the end, is the game intelligence, maybe we have a say certain image. Cricket means cricketer, and cricketer means famous cricketer, and famous cricketer means somebody who has been whatever playing matches, and then kind of a parallel to Sachin Tendulkar, or whatever are the current parallels right now. But if we spend time with the child and try to understand what does the sports means to the child, what does the music means to the child, which stream of music, what aspect of music, what you relate to, and if we are able to create that conversation with the child, it makes a lot of difference to bring that clarity. Yeah. So typically, like, just a small, maybe I don't know whether this example matters or not, a small child will say, a bus conductor whistling in the bus, and say, I want to become a bus conductor. The child doesn't want to do all the ticketing and all. What he wants to do is the whistle or the ring that bell, because he feels the power. But okay, because only this person has the power to stop the bus, I don't have the power. Yeah. If you can bring those clarity, that what exactly you mean by bus conductor, what exactly you mean by artist, this aspect, that aspect. It's like Sandhya's son is into music now. If you say music means musician, no, if you realize that he is into sound technology,
Sound engineering.
sound engineering, which is a very technical field. It does have a lot of music background and skills required.
I can add on that. Music,
Yeah.
music is an added advantage to that, but
Yeah.
that's not the main focus there. But what I wanted mainly to say also here is because my younger son, I just like to share how different both the
Yeah,
boys
Satya,
are
can you make it
also.
crisp? There are a lot of people
Yeah.
wanting to come on mic and a lot of
Sorry,
questions.
Yeah. So no, you can ask the question. I just said that as an added to the sport part, because this one is into sport. He's a champion, but he has no interest in it if you ask him as a goal. So that is why I put it in the chat also, so that people can think about it. When you have conversations with a child like that, whose only a natural talent is happening, they will not be able to think and say, okay, this is what I want to do. That's also an answer to that NDA question.
Yeah.
That is where the parent needs to step by step probably help him to reach that goal. As a sport, that is what I was saying. He's into sports, and he doesn't want to be, I mean, he doesn't have a goal of being my younger one does not have the goal of being a performer, I mean, or a sports person. He's just playing because he enjoys it.
He likes it. Yeah.
So that also we need to be able to figure out with them, along with them. With the conversation, you might not get a direct answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Sandhya. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this whole also a couple of people wanted to come on mic. Please go ahead. Please come on mic and ask your questions or share your thoughts.
Hi, this is Sangeeta Katre from Pune.
Yes, Geeta.
I just had a quick question, sir. Actually, it's a bit of a dilemma. So while we have discussed so much about letting go of, there's one thought that comes to my mind, and you also covered it in one of your slides where you said that a child might want to do something for first couple of years, and then suddenly his passion might change, and so on and so forth, right? So would letting go of every time not make them used to having their way every time, thus making them intolerant and unaccommodating because they are so used to having their way all the time? So would it not be a case where they're just not used to adjusting and taking that little bit of stretch to do something that possibly they don't like so much in life?
One way to look at it is if you look at the number point 2 and 3, which we are coming to next, is the rigor and the deliberate practice. So when a child says, I'm passionate about it and I want to work on this, doesn't mean now the child can just do about anything whole day. That's not what we are talking about, taking it easy. In fact, we are talking about rigor, about putting in lot of effort into it, both in terms of time and in terms of the deliberateness or the deepness to it. Now, when the child is doing like that, then even if the child says after some years, I'm not okay with this, it's not that the child has taken some easy route. In fact, the child has actually taken a far more challenging route, has developed his own core skills of, as I said, learning, leading, and living, and now wants to move on to another passion because this did not turn out the way he wanted to. I hope that answers your question. So it is changing interest or multiple interest is absolutely no problem at all. Why? Because whichever interest or one interest or multiple interest it is, the child is putting in lot of effort. That's the whole thing. Because if the child is not putting the effort, there is no interest, that means.
Okay.
Kind of, does that kind of response to your question? So there's no easy going here. There is no slack here as such. There is no like I take my life easy. That's not the point.
Yeah, even in fact, the nudging which say Sandhya was talking about, it is not easy. Yeah, she saw something and she whatever as a family said, okay, 1 year gap year makes sense, but it's not an easy thing at the age of 20 to go and do the internship kind of a thing. But during that, you might realize that's maybe I came for this, but this is what something which I more relate with, and then so things do evolve. I will say not even change, I will say things evolve from where I start and how it moves on. So we are talking about that. Maybe hope that makes some sense
Um,
and understanding about it.
it does, ma'am, but it's more to do with the fact that the setting up of an attitude in the child's mind, particularly when he or she is just in his preteens, and he is kind of being kind of listened to every time when he or she says that he doesn't want to do a particular thing, and then wants to shift over to something, and then maybe after a couple of years wants to do something else, and so on and so forth. And I know this is the case with a lot of children, right? Because it's more of a fad as to what their
Maybe
friends are
that
doing.
that itself is a cause of whatever things to worry about it, that what kind of learning environment are we creating, whether it's a school creating, whether it's a home creating, it's the society creating, yeah, which is not
Okay.
letting the children or even us as us, yeah. And then where is this jump happening from? Can we understand the root cause? Can we understand uh, 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 the whole process, and can we do something? Can we take a step to work on it? Yeah.
Also,
Sure.
Aditi, it could happen that the child is still not yet clear about his passion. So I would say early teens, the child jumping around is absolutely fine. Even at 20, 30, the child, or rather adult by now, changing fields from one to another. I don't see that as a problem till when I take up a field, I take for whatever time I take it intensely. I take it with seriousness. It is not like that I'll say I want to be a cricketer and I'm sleeping whole day. Then there is no point in saying I want to be a cricketer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the child says I want to become a cricketer and the child is sleeping whole day, I think we just need to understand the child.
Yeah.
What are the child's struggles, or maybe something has turned off the child, or so it's not about the interest, it's not about the child leaving, it's about understanding the child and then working with child, not against the child. And I think that can be any place. Yeah. Why somebody is
Sure.
leaving, why somebody is
Yeah.
continuing, how
Yeah.
did somebody put in efforts, and all those things are just part of the journey.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is Purnima here from
Yes.
Chennai. I have a preteen. So she is, my question is very relevant to this. I am clueless at this point. My question is, what if the skill that she's pursuing or the art that she's pursuing is time bound? There are some skills that are very time bound. The age when it is past, the skill has no value. For example, she is pursuing her ballet. She is a natural born ballerina, and she has the body flexibility in everything. Suddenly, in the last 3 to 4 months, she is suddenly saying that she is not very interested in that, and that is not her true passion of life. she's been pursuing for the last 3 to 4 years, and this is coming suddenly from her, and we are not we are clueless about how to make her understand she loves it. It's just a phase that she's going through.
Yeah, so there are, I would look at it, Purnima, in two, three aspects. One is, if you think that it's a phase, then let that phase go through. Then there is no issue at all, right? Then it's a phase, and she will only come back. Yeah. So that is one thought. So if it's a phase, it will come back. If it's an actual genuinely dwindling interest, then again, giving more time, giving more space to the child will help the child determine whether, yes, I actually want to step out of it. Okay. And the third thing is, if we are, let us say, we think that, yes, a little tug here, a little exposure here would help, then I would get into the realm of game intelligence, and we can talk about in just a little while, where I step aside from just the dance part, in this case, the ballet part, but get into a lot of other things related to the ballet, the surrounding areas, which add up to it, and let's see how the child responds to those. Because sometimes when we are learning something, we get so focused on only that thing. Let's say learning the ballet in and out, so we take a little off, and we go on all the things which are related to ballet, and meet a lot of people, and read a lot of things, and watch a lot of things, and talk about a lot of things, and also explore other related skills. So small things add up to my overall view of the whole thing. And then I, as a child, is able to better decide, is this fire there in me to take it forward or not? So I would say, if the effort has been sustained over the last few years, but it's dwindling down, that's absolutely very well expected. It's not something, we all go through these little cycles of up and down, and that's absolutely fine. Uh, yes, it is in your mind. There is this thing about being time bound, but that's okay. Things can, as I said, even if at the end of it she doesn't climb the Mount Everest of ballet, that is okay, because that's not the point of life. The point of
True.
life is to enjoy what we are doing now, use that enjoyment, that passion to develop ourselves, and then see how we want to take it forward. So I think a more relaxed frame of mind from parents would actually help the child in that case.
True. Thank you.
Anupama had a question.
Okay. Anupama. Okay. Anupama is saying that her son is interested in building design softwares, uh, more time to work on what he's doing. Yes, Anupama, no, yeah, you are already at it. Meaning, I don't know what your thought is. I would say go ahead, give him more space. Why not? Uh, I know of so many people who do so many of designing stuff, who have no degrees, no qualifications, but they are there already in terms of being able to share their skills with the world in terms of professions. Okay, let's also come back to specific questions regarding the 10,000. I'm just calling it 10,000, or you can call it rigor, the rigor and the sustained exploration questions on that, because that's important according to us. Not the number 10,000, but the fact that the child is now wanting to invest himself or herself, which comes typically naturally because they are passionate about that passion, obviously. But it also helps to give the child that perspective that, oh dear, it's not just 1 year you put investment into that passion, and you will suddenly become the top, whatever, let's say musician, or you'll become a top writer. No, it will need a longer sustained effort. So when children understand this 10,000 principle, I think they get a longer view. Oh, it may take me 8 hours, and they can actually work back the maths. That's why I like this 10,000 number, not for the sake of it, but it just helps me plan. Okay, so if I want to invest 4 hours a day, let's say 6 days a week, and then I want to work on it at least 50 weeks in a year. So in these many years, I will be, there with the 10,000 hours. So I can expect to be an expert. Yeah, Ruchi is saying, what if they are not ready? Then it's not their interest, Ruchi. Then give them time to develop that interest more. Then let's just let's not jump on the head start part of it, but just give them that space.
Hi, Ritesh.
Yeah.
Sridhar. So I think it's for my child. I think this the 10,000 is actually very interesting thing because he loves to play sport.
Mhm.
Like he wants to be a cricketer and a badminton player, right? So
Okay.
he's
Sure.
pursuing both the sports, and it's been almost 3 years now that he's playing both the sports, or
Hmm.
more than 3 years. Like for example, every day morning 4:30 he gets up, goes for badminton, plays for about 2.5 hours. Then evening he plays cricket. He's been, he's a leg spinner, and he is. Just a minute, hold on. Sorry. And he likes to think himself as an all-rounder. For example, if I speak to his coaches, his baddie coaches, they say that he's got good potential. Same thing with his cricket coaches, in the sense that anytime anybody sees him play, they say, which school does he go to? And then when I tell him the school, say, why are you not putting him in a cricket school? So we see the signals from everywhere, and so in fact once we asked him, saying that there is you're playing cricket, you're playing badminton, and there is school, and you need to give up one of the sports, and he clearly
One
said
of
that,
them.
huh?
We asked him to drop one of them.
One of them, and he clearly said that, why don't we drop school?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, I can see that he seems to be very much attached to sport. And with respect to studies, I mean, it's like when we put his head into it, he probably does okay, but his heart is not into it. I mean, it's very clear to us.
He
Uh,
says,
So,
I
so
don't
wait,
want to
wait. So,
study. He
so
says, I
first
just
of
want
all,
to.
please tell his age.
he's 12. Sorry,
He's
he's
12.
going to turn 12 in November. I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
So I would say, let's go back to the let go, meaning why can't we let go school? What's the worry here? Meaning instead of letting go one game, which at 12 I think I would say let him continue with both the games, give him
Mhm.
this perspective of 10,000, but that does not mean that he has to decide the game now, because
Mhm.
in either of the games he's developing a lot of game intelligence. He's
Mhm.
developing a lot of muscle response. He's developing a lot of things, meaning I don't want to get into that because that's specific to sports, but there's so many things that he's developing. So I don't see a hurry to drop one of them, but I would really suggest, meaning why school? The school doesn't seem to be in space here. so,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
yeah, as Sandhya is also saying, and a lot of other sports coaches say, have two games. Don't play just one game, have two games.
right,
One
right.
can be the slightly more dominant one, and that will happen in the next maybe couple of years or 2 3 years. He will become dominant in one game,
Mhm.
but let him not totally drop the other game. The
Yeah,
other game helps the primary game. A
right,
lot of sports people have played two sports,
right. Okay, I see somewhere
including
down the
players
sport.
like David Beckham and Boris Becker, and I can rattle off a lot of
Yeah, I
players.
mean, he does the same thing to us. So he says, if you guys can do it, why
So
can't
the
I?
question to you, Sridhar, is why not drop the school?
Yeah,
That's
so
the invitation.
that was the scary part, right? So
What are you scared of?
uh, I don't
People
know.
around, family,
Yeah, it's
Sorry?
friends around, family, they are
No, no,
like,
but what are you scared of? Those are the ones who are putting pressure or may question you, but what are you scared of? I'm sure you're not
it's
scared of
like,
them.
is it possible to take a year off and come back to schooling if that doesn't work out? Is that even possible? We don't know.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Not just a year. You can take 10 years off and come back to school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the whole point. We are thinking that there is a train going, and if we miss it, we have missed it. But there is another
Mhm.
one coming behind. Just
Okay.
don't think like that, that you are
it's a good
stuck.
one.
You can go back to any schooling, colleging, if that is what he wants later, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years later, he can go back. There are people who have taken admission to a medical college at the age of 35,
Okay.
right? So
but
just
also, yeah, also understand that if he is he's deeply into something and then he's putting a lot of mind and efforts into that, that
Mhm.
means he's developing some intelligence out of it. Yeah,
Mhm.
tomorrow if he wants to give up and go back to say studies, and if
Mhm.
he chooses that now I want to go back to studies, do you think he will not spend that much of intelligence to develop whatever he's doing the studies for?
If he can get up at 4 to play badminton, he can get up at 4 to give exam if he wants to give exam, which we really don't know whether he would want to even or not, because he may just love the sports and he may invest himself into the sports.
Yeah, so that's what I think Sandhya is also
That's the last
sharing.
slide. Yeah. We're talking about the learning to learn. He's learning to learn, learning to lead himself, and he's learning to live himself. I think that's more important.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a
So
good
you're saying I can we can
yearly we shuffle on things like
Just
they will
1
come
minute.
to understand. This is Lakshman here.
Hi, Lakshman.
Okay, so like when they yearly shuffle on the things, they will understand what happens if you are shuffling, what kind of problem it is, and what kind of advantage it is. Like if you do this later at the age of 40, then you are really going to face the issue. But if they are going to do it at 20, and definitely it's going to get a lot of benefit and they can better focus and streamline.
No, tell them first.
So I didn't really understand your point, Lakshman. Sorry about that.
Now, what I'm trying to say is like when you say like they're shuffling between the school and their passion, okay, so and yearly they shuffle, right? They're shifting the thing. That is good for them to understand because when they focus on something very passionately and they are moving to a different thing, which is totally away. So, what kind of thing, the adaptation time and so many things are happening in that they will come to know. Okay, so once they may be again shuffling back also, that may happen. But the yearly they do, then they try to settle it out. Because at one point of time, shuffling here and there, it also not good, they'll come to know. Because many times we have seen after college, we will try to do something, then we do many things. And once the age grows, it gets limited. But when they are doing yearly understanding this concept, that's good for them. No?
I think what I've understood it, one of the aspects Lakshman is thinking out at this age, let them do this shuffling. At 40, it is difficult to do all that.
Yeah, yes,
This
yes,
is the
correct.
age, this is the energy they have. Look at his energy. He's getting up at 4, playing badminton, again in the evening playing cricket. I think that's amazing.
But all I worry is, as we adults are not doing anything relevant to creating a culture. Okay, so all are going with the passion and they are doing alone. That's fine. Absolutely, there are a lot of advantages. But why there is no group action to create some sort of a culture? For them, this is something to be respected. That's happening, but it's not happening together.
Yes, that's exactly. And I think one of the culture we need to create is, Lakshman, is a culture of deliberate practice or deep guided practice, where I'm not just doing things, but I'm actually doing it with a real sense of minute details, with a little jump every day, with a little focus on how do I improve that delta today, that little bit today, and then little bit tomorrow, and then little bit tomorrow, with the guidance from experts. So yes, if that kind of coaching, that kind of mentoring is something, and we will talk more about it next Saturday when we get into, okay, so how do we get this into practice, how do we get this into action? But the important point is for us to realize that, yes, what Lakshman is saying, that has to, at the home level, and then at the ecosystem level, the child can be given that kind of an exposure. So I really am personally in real favor of deep guided practice, and where we need very uh, I would say sensitive mentors who are I would say more like less of teachers, more of already experts in their field. So they have kind of been through, done that, and now they can nudge or guide the child in that little nudges, which the child can go up and up and up. So that way, the exposure to industry, the exposure to people working and working with them is, I think, is important, and is
Yeah,
actually very beneficial
that is
for the child.
required, and that should happen in a very transparent way. So,
Yes,
which
yes.
makes the public to watch, so that this path will get the recognition. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think Anupama is underlining. Yeah, we need to keep the child at the center, not our whatever scares and our fears and our aspirations somewhere. Uh,
Yeah, Ruchi.
Ratnesh,
Richie, we do that. We do
yeah,
that with children. We do work with them on deep practice or deliberate practice. They're just two different terms for the same thing. Um, but
Ratnesh,
yeah, yeah,
I have two sons. Okay, my elder one is 10 years. I was just talking about who is interested in 3D design and all.
mm,
And elder one was operated for heart surgery. Okay, so I just don't want to create stress for him, and I just want to make him go to. I mean, like which field he's interested. I just want to make him do that only, because going to school, it is like it when compared to other children, for him it will be like so much stress of sitting listening, and his body will get strained. So the reason I was trying to stop the school for him. And my little son is 4 years old. Hello.
Yeah,
yeah,
we
yeah.
can hear you.
Yeah, my little son is autistic actually. He's 4 years old now. He's 4.6. Like you know about autism, what?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. You can
Yeah,
please.
so he's like having some he's good only, he's good in some areas, okay, but may not be exactly like the other 4 years 4 year old. But he is talking now, his communication is getting good now, but still there will be like some delay, I can understand. But we are working with him, and day by day he is also developing. Till now I didn't send my little one also to the school, so I'm just
Sure.
planning to not send both of them to the school. I was thinking how much I was able to do. I was just telling you openly, my elder one is having a heart surgery, so he's taking the medications and all.
Yeah,
So
can
I
you please
don't
come
want
to
to
the
give stress
question?
to him also.
Yeah,
And little son having this kind of delay, so I don't want to give this much of school pressure, academics, all those things. I want to find out what his interests are. My little
sure,
son.
sure. So I would say just
So,
both of them, just give them the time for them to find their passions,
hmm,
right? It isn't about anything else. It's about giving them time, whether whatever they are, however they are absolutely fine.
hmm,
There is no need to compare them with anybody. They are them as
hmm,
them,
hmm,
right? There is
hmm,
no
hmm,
need.
hmm,
We just need to give them the space to develop their passion over a
hmm,
period of time. I don't want to give the message that all children at 12, 13, 14 should find their passion. No, no, no.
hmm,
I'm again and
hmm,
again saying even at 30, 40, 50, they find their
hmm,
passion.
hmm,
That is good enough. So there is no
hmm.
hurry to find their passion. Please,
It's
please.
not about hurry and all. I was just thinking, I cannot give him stress and all actually.
Sure, sure. Please don't
Going
give
to
stress to any
hmm,
child for that
hmm.
matter. Yeah,
No, no,
why
no, no.
only?
No, normal children is okay.
No, 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 no,
For
not
him,
okay, not
it
okay.
is
There is no
operated.
normal children. Sorry, sorry, sorry. I must interrupt you here. I'm very, very clear. There are no normal children. There are
Okay,
only children.
okay,
Everybody
okay.
is what he or she is. There is
Hmm,
no
hmm,
normal, there is no special, there is no
hmm,
nothing. And please
hmm,
don't give, according to me, why would I give anybody stress? I won't give, I will give them space to develop their own
hmm,
passion, their own life. I
hmm,
think
hmm.
that's what I want to convey to you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, so Emmy is asking to get a college degree, are 10th and 12th required? Before Emmy, we give that answer, I think we also need to understand what is this college degree we are looking for? What is this 10th and 12th are we looking at? Are we is this for, say, some kind of a safety? Is this some kind of a comfort? Is this some kind of assurance of the future? What are we investing our from 10th to college, even if the child is not giving 10th and 12th, and if you're seeking a college degree, maybe 3 years, 4 years, so many years of investment, what are we looking for? Okay. As Sandhya has already shared, yeah, there are possibilities. It's not that there are no possibility, but then what is
College.
this whole concept? And that's where I guess our opening thing was that uh, maybe somewhere we have or we are assuming, I will say the word assuming because we are not looking at the other windows, is that 10th and 12th are part of life. Let's consider that they are optional. Does that make any changes in the way we think. Yeah, there are available for something if I need to go, but there are many more other things also available. And then can I explore that as my child is moving ahead? We have enough number of examples. In fact, this is today is the 26th webinar which we are doing, so that means including Sandhya's also webinar is there recorded, and I'll share the playlist with you, that where we are talking about that how many more windows are available for us to live life. I'm not even talking about the career, I'm not even talking about the profession, and then create our own life. And that's where Ratnesh has put up the slide 15, where it says learning, earning, and living comes together. Yeah.
So, Sridhar and Sangeeta, both of you, I want to ask you, why do you want your child to give 10th, even if it's out of NIOS? Why? Right? Do you think when the child has gone through all of this, for let's say that sports doesn't work out, for that matter, anything may not work out for the child, right? When somebody has put in so much of effort, so much of deep practice, when somebody has developed game intelligence, when somebody has learned how to lead himself, you think the child will not be able to carve out a career for himself? Let's say sports doesn't work out. Will that be the end of the world for the child? Will the child need to go back to 10th? No, come on. The child would have made a much better individual out of him than simply depending on 10th. What does 10th, 12th, and college give us? It does give us any guarantee. So I want to vociferously, very, very loudly fight against this whole thinking. I'm literally ready to fight with people, this thinking that that is a safe option. I would say no, that is not a safe option. It is only one option. In fact, I would even go ahead and say this is a far more beautiful option, where the child develops himself as an individual, and then he can do whatever he feels like. Let's say he does sports up to 24, and then he says sport isn't working out for me. So what? At 24, he will be ready to do whatever he wants to do in life. He can start a business, he can do jobs, he can do whatever he wants to do in his life. Not because he has done 10, 12 degree, but because he has created that power inside him. He has developed his core in such a way that he is ready to think, create his own life, his own way. Yeah. So I would say, if that's precisely, this whole webinar is about questioning why do you want him to also do 10th. Then I will have a list of 10 more things that he should do so that his life is safe. No. Let's not. I mean, that's. I'm really, really questioning why would one do it as a backup, because I'm not even sure it's a good backup. Today, people have done engineering and are jobless. They are doing some other job. So are we saying backup means, just a school, college will give me a degree, will give me a backup? Okay.
So it's not like that. It's as simple. If there are 100 people who have cleared engineering, at least 60 will end up getting jobs of engineers. Maybe
Ma'am,
20
even
will.
if you have not done engineering, you can get job, you can create your own job, you can be a self-employed, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a freelancer, you can even work in that field of sports, not necessarily as a sportsman. There are so many things. So I don't know why we are thinking that, and why am I saying this is not because there's anything wrong with 10, 12. Just realize it will require a lot of investment now. Are you ready for dividing his time into half going for studies and only half for his passion? That's the disservice I'm talking about. That's what gets me worked up. And I'm getting worked up, not in the sense for against you or against anybody. I'm just saying, if you want to give him a gift, give him the full gift. Why say no? I'll only give you half the gift, and the other half I will keep it for 10th and 12th, some backup. I'm again arguing children don't need backups. What they need is a space where they can go whole hog, when they can put in effort and develop themselves. Which is why my fifth point is very important. It is not that they should reach a career and just because they chose it as a passion. It is the journey that will really, really make them strong to be able to do whatever you want to do.
So yeah, I think what I kind of doubt is whether he has in him to actually push himself to that level. So
But he's pushing
He's
himself
already
right
pushing
now.
me. How else can he
I,
communicate to you?
They should
uh,
continue to do that, right, sir? It's
Yes, yes, yes. And at one day he may give up also.
mhm,
So what? So what? He can then go back wherever he wanted to go back to.
I
But
think
I'm saying if he's saying now, he's showing now, not even he's saying, he's showing that clarity, he's
mhm.
showing that passion, then why doubt him? Then where is this doubt? That doubt is, I would say, pulling him down more than anything else. If I say to him, whole hog, go man, go.
Mhm.
Till when you can go? Maybe after 3 years, you will get a burnout, you will get tired, you will say, enough of badminton, enough of
Mhm.
cricket, I don't want anything.
Yeah.
Good. Now decide what you want to do.
But
You
then at that point of time, he can still continue, is what we're saying, studies or whatever.
even okay, so one is, you think he'll have to come back to studies? My answer
Mhm.
is, first of all, no.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe that depends on what he wants to do at that time. He doesn't necessarily need to start again at 10. It depends on what exactly he wants to do.
I
And
think
there's
somewhere,
so many things that he can do.
somewhere this belief is, if the child is passing one after another exams every year, that means
Mhm.
child is growing. But if the child is one after another putting efforts in something or spending time with something, somewhere we are not getting that tangible report card of the child, which is
Mhm.
given by somebody else. And then we are feeling scared of that, oh, that report card is not being produced by somebody else, and saying that, okay, yeah, your child is certified to go ahead. uh, Child is giving you each, if he actually, in your case, the child is anyway getting up at 4:30, putting in a lot of efforts and the rigor and all different kind of a thing. But even
Mhm.
if the child is not getting up at 4, but if the child is given the space to be able to understand himself, his own interest, his own struggles, his own skills, yeah. uh, Only thing which is missing is the report card which is given by somebody else.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it,
then we
it
are saying that we
Mhm.
are ready to give up our whole child's life for that report card. I think something
I'll give
we
you my
need to,
daughter's
yeah.
example, right? She's
Mhm.
21 now,
Mhm.
okay, 22 actually. So she had no clear passion. She had multiple, I won't even call them as passions. She has multiple interests. And
And not
she,
only interest, as I think somebody was saying, ballerina, she was quite skillful, and she is still skillful in dance, in art. These were the two very clear categories where she was showing not interest but the skills.
yeah,
Yeah,
but she didn't want to pursue it,
yeah.
okay, as deeply. When we brought in the deep aspect to it, she says, no, 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 I
I
don't
want
want
to
to.
explore many more
I want to
things.
explore many more. So she continued exploring many more, many things. But she was, yes, she was doing a lot of stuff. So there was rigor, there was deliberateness, there was a lot of intelligence she was gaining, and she was leading herself. So if you look at all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 were there, but there was no passion. There were no one interest. It kept on changing here, there, here, there, here, there. And then she reaches somewhere at the age of 20, and then she says, I want to do a business. And then she starts without, in the next sentence, she starts doing business. She doesn't ask anybody, she didn't ask any permission. And now she's running a business of her own, of the kind of interest she does. And even there, she's doing so many different things. She's thoroughly enjoying, she's earning. She is not even thinking about whether world will give me money or not. I'll create my own money, I'll create my own. There are people who are valuing her knowledge already. So I think it, and please realize, all these years there was no passion at all. The
Mhm.
passion for one thing or two things or three things was not there at all. So I
Mhm.
want to give an example for you to realize that all of these five things, the let go, the rigor, the deepness, the intelligence, and the leading of oneself, can happen without passions also.
And in
It's
fact,
not about,
yeah,
it's
in
not
fact,
about
so
passions. Yeah.
her current passion is not about any of the interest which she showed, or whatever the skills she showed uh, right from the beginning, which were the art and the dance. She's into sustainability. Yeah. And she calls herself now the earth activist, and her business is also to bring awareness about that, where she makes natural products. And then she has done so many internships, met people, even courses which were offered to the graduate people. She has grabbed those courses only based on her work. Yeah. So somebody was asking, will the children get job? They don't need to get the job. They need to demand jobs from people, that I am there with this skill. This is what I'm available. This is what I'm skillful. This is what I'm available.
Yeah.
And that's what the world needs.
In fact, her skills are so valued by the people that she has had so multiple offers for job, which obviously she didn't join any of those.
In fact, her business, she has her own priorities on what she wants to focus on. She has offered to expand her business like anything, but she knows that what she wants to do, and why she wants to go right now for more understanding about this whole concept of sustainability, by understanding a lot of different areas, whether Ratnesh was talking about the intelligence. Yeah. And the business is also running because there is a purpose behind it. And the business, as Ratnesh was saying, learning and earning is following her. Yeah. No, not only the earning, the job offers are following her, the business offers are following her. And she's just 22. So it's not the 22. I think she started her journey at the age of 10 when we pulled her out of the school. And from 10 to now 22, 12 years is a good enough period for somebody to, I mean, maybe not a good enough. Maybe in her case, she has found maybe some more years. So what we're trying, and our son, who is just 14 and 15 right now, last 3 years, he has been deeply into the sports. Yeah. So what we're trying to say is that different children, different strokes, different outcomes, different needs. All we need to give is them the space.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
think it's
one
just
formula. There's no one formula which one can take away and then say, okay, this formula I'll put in my this child. And that's where Anupama Ratnesh was saying, there is no special child, there is no abnormal child. All of us are different and all of us are valuable.
yeah. I think we need to speak with you guys much.
Yeah, please speak to us one-to-one, specific,
Yeah,
and we can guide you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think that will
Let's
help us.
take more questions.
as
People who
Dviji
have
was saying,
questions.
we need to give us
Actually, please,
Viji also
I
wants
think
to share. Yeah.
I attended your integrated learning workshop and I was totally convinced, as I always said before, that I am into this kind of a open learning thing for my children. But my problem is that my children don't understand this. They're like, let me study, let me do my exam. But I feel it's a waste of time because, as what I see right now with schooling, online schooling, you're just learning and just vomiting. There is no learning actually, you're just vomiting. So you're just doing whatever is the school is telling you to do, and then you're just vomiting on the paper. That is not learning, and I want them to open up and explore, but they don't want to do it. So what do I do?
So talk to them more. Show them more examples. Maybe they have not seen more examples. Show them how outside the school also they can get what they are getting inside the school. I'm sure they are enjoying certain things in the school. If
The
that is,
basic they like school is because of their friends, and they
yeah,
don't
that's what
want
I'm
to
saying.
achieve.
So that's absolutely fine. They're like, but we show them what are the other things, and maybe have patience once and keep the conversations on. As the years go on, they will find their own. They know this option is there, right? Keep that option open for them. They will grab it as in when they feel it. When, yes, right now maybe the friends are very important. That's absolutely fine. But what is really more important is that they are given this exposure. That's it. You just give them the exposure, talk about, show them,
Meet
make
more
them
families.
meet more families. Just keep the whole doors and windows open. And as and when they are ready, they will grab it. And if they're not ready, there's nothing wrong with it per se. It's finally their call, their life, their decision. Right? We are there to support it, expose it, and so on.
Dviji has raised hand.
Yeah, Dviji, you would like to share something?
Yeah, just a
Talking
quick
to you.
thing. There was this question about job and if I don't have a degree, how will I ever get a job? As persons, if you talk to any HR people or anyone hiring, if you're seeing 100 applications and each one is one engineering after the other, and then there's this one application or two applications or 10 applications, of people who have not done engineering but are interested in the job, say that they meet all the other requirements and have given their CV. I mean, just put yourself in that shoes and think which one will stand out, which CV will receive more attention, whose code will I go and look at, someone who is like everyone else, or someone who has taken a different path and has come to that point. I mean, we are in 2020, luckily, I would say. Unlucky that there's a lockdown and all that. But, today, if you're, especially if you're looking at technology jobs, people are not looking at degrees. Degrees do help. I'm not denying that. But it helps the parents feel and sleep easy more than anything else. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's probably true.
Yeah, also, Dwiji, sometimes that sleep easy for parents is preceded by sleep uneasy when the exams came and when that came and the studies came and the child didn't score or
Of course, of
so on.
course.
So it is not such a sugar candy story where, everything is sweet, 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 even if you just go through school and college.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
are trying to get the best in the best of the college. There is so much of peer pressure. In fact, I would say the child is definitely stressed and so are the parents. While actually, I would see, I've seen parents who are in open learning journey. It's not that the struggle is less or the effort is less. I'm not trying to say that, but I would definitely say the stress is less, or not just less. It is the enjoyable effort that the child is putting, because that is something the child passionately loves doing. So in that sense, it is all joy, I would say, not that kind of a stress. So that's my personal view. Obviously people can differ on that.
Yeah, it's the stress and joy of effort that you want to do,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I enough of hogging my time.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Purvi, also I want to add to it that our same daughter, when she was in fourth standard, and we would talk about, instead of doing the math sum, let's enjoy the maths. And she would give us very clear looks and the answer that all this is fine outside school. I don't think I want to do all what you're talking about, because that will not bring marks to me. Yeah, what will bring marks to me is this, whatever I'm doing, mugging up and doing these formulas and all this, that will
Right.
get the mark, and I care for the marks. Yeah, so that
Yeah.
was what she was, say, 13, 14 years back. But then
I'm fixing it.
as she got introduced, see, what happens is that if you see around, what our children are exposed to, our children are exposed to only this world. They're not even exposed to any other thing. Yeah, so if it is not, if they're not exposed, let's create that awareness among them and then show them that, yeah, there are possibility, whatever they choose is finally how they want to go ahead. But then I think we can uh, create that awareness. Like you have got an awareness for yourself, as well as children will also get awareness. So you can look at it from that perspective, that they are not exposed right now. Yeah.
Yeah, any more questions, more thoughts? So I also just want to remind that next Saturday, which is 7th November, same time, we will take it as a sequel of this. We'll see how, uh, again, it can be one passion, many passions, 100 passions, doesn't matter. But how do we kind of now take the child forward? What all things we can do? What kind of a, I would say, framework, okay, maybe that word, or something like that. What kind of of a framework, or of what kind of a
Process.
process we can, or processes we can create, which will help the child to move from here. See, the conventional system is very clear: 10, 12, college, postgraduate, specialization, and you get into profession, campus interview or whatever, and you get it. So that's one track, but there is, at least we are able to visualize it. Now what happens uh, in this kind of a journey, it's not as clear, so we are not trying to make it clear, but we are trying to see some of the important ingredients or the processes which can help the child from now to wherever the child wants to go. So that's, we can explore more. Yeah, Vijay is giving it interesting names like support system, environment. Yeah, both those names fit in, Vijay. Thanks. Yeah, and anybody, not just Sridhar, anybody would like to talk to us one to one, because the webinar is one context. Hopefully, we're trying to stir you up, and we've done a little bit at least. But if you would like to understand it more, get it in more detail, you're most welcome to connect with us.
Yeah, some of you wanted to connect with Sandhya. If Sandhya is there, she can put her number. She's also there in the webinar group.
Yeah.
And if you need, I can also send you the number. And the people, Dviji or whosoever are people, each other, we want to connect with each other. Most welcome. And I think let's create this space for our children. Let's create this community. It's community in Aarohi we already have. So not necessary, I'm talking about that community. I'm saying let's create that support system as Dviji has said.
Yeah. Jayashree, I would like to answer that point. Yeah, not in terms of what exactly to do, but I would say that, and I've said that in another post also, that any passion, any talent, first of all, can be converted into profession. Anything in this world, right? There is absolutely no doubt about that. You tell me anything, and I can show you how that can be turned into a profession. So I think that should not be the doubt. In fact, if it is unusual or a little hatke, then it will be easier. It will be easier because there will be no competition as such, or very few people actually doing
The
it as a
skills
profession.
in that. So then you are sought after.
You are sought after because you are the only one who does like that. So I think that would be. I
just want to share.
You
finish your thought. So just an anecdote I want to share is that one of the child, I think he was 12 at that time, he came to me and he said, I want to, my interest is parkour. And that's the word first time I heard in my life. And I said, parkour? He said, climbing the walls. I said, is that something like that exists? Then he showed me few things. And actually, we could find a group which practices parkour in Bangalore. There's a club, and we could farm. And in fact, the next week we had a resource. We had a family visiting, and that lady, she said, I practice parkour. And this child went through with her training, with her for training for 15 days. And through him we understood what is parkour. It's not only climbing the walls. There's a lot of body play in that.
And by the way, if somebody is doing parkour, which I'm sure many of you would not have even heard, even I had not heard a few years back, okay, you can make a profession out of it. There is absolutely no problem with that. So anything can be turned into a profession, which is what we are saying. We would love, which you will enjoy doing it. Absolutely. But yes, Jayashree, we can talk more about it, not just next week with you, or we can just keep talking talking about it. Yeah. Dviji has posted the link for the Telegram group. You can join that group if you want to. You can connect with us directly. Most of you have our website, our email, our contact numbers, Aditi's WhatsApp number. So feel free to connect with us in any which way. Yeah. Okay. Shall we? Is there any other question or thought? Shall we close for today? Hopefully enough thought for food for thought. Just one thing I want to reinforce: involve your children in these discussions, make them an integral part of all the conversations, explore lots and lots of different things. There is even now a book I saw today which talks about all kinds of different professions which are not the conventional professions. So today's world is so beautiful. You're exploring with different kinds of professions, and it is so amazing. Yeah, that one can actually do what one likes doing. Yeah. What's the book name, Aditi? Do you know the book name which has the different professions?
Yeah, it's by I Love Mondays. If you type on.
Okay. Yeah, that's the book name. I love Mondays.
Yeah. If you type on, I think that's how I got it. And
yeah, that's the
and
book name.
they also have web page, and they also talk about the same, that why not experience the profession before getting.
Okay, so I think we had budgeted 1 hour, but we have almost done 1.5 hours. So let's pause here. to meet again next Saturday to take it further, explore it further, go deeper, deep diving into this whole journey of passion to profession. Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you for patiently listening to our super enthusiasm. Yeah, this is one topic we can endlessly, at least I can endlessly talk about. Yeah. Not because I would clarify, not because I think there's anything wrong with 10th, 12th and college. I've also gone through that, but I think that it's oversold. It's overbought. 98% people are buying it, maybe 99. So that's really, I would say, overbuying of something. It would rather be 50-50 or maybe even less. That's why. Thank you.
I think, Ratish, the fear of choosing something different, according to me, what I've understood from people is they are looking at money security. Like, okay, if you are into a,
Yeah.
which is more
Yeah.
creative, will not fetch you more money than something which is more, you will earn in lakhs. But if you're into some creative field, you might not earn, you might earn, or you might earn just to survive. So everybody, I think the fear is about the insecurity of, how much we will earn to live, at least live a comfortable
So think
life.
about it, Purvi. Do we want to raise our children on the basis of a fear? Is that life all about? Is that how we want to live? And this is what we want to transfer to our children? Beta, live a life with basis of fear? Oh, come on. We need to really, really look into ourselves.
But that is
We
what
are
I think
living,
everybody like
thinking based on fear. Then we are not only we are doing it, we are passing it on to our children. That yours is a life of fear, dear. Oh, wait. I think we all need to really think about it. There is no insecurity according to me.
Sangeeta, I disagree that it's because there is not whatever insecure, whatever system not in India. I think it's not because of.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not about the government. It's not even about the schools. I think it's about the parents. Parents, if we are not changing, I think nothing can change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is
It's
no
not
fear out
absence.
there.
There
Fear
is
is
no-
all
yeah.
inside our head. The moment we refuse to accept the fear or connect with that fear, the moment millions of avenues open up
There
and
is no
it becomes
absence of
joyous.
knowledge. Any resource person, anybody whom we have connected for any child who wants to pursue their interest, people are there. We just need to seek them, and there are enough options in what you call it, non-conventional, or I would say any field. Yeah, it's just that we need to reach out. Yeah, as Ruchi is saying, we need to change our thinking. Yes, we need to question our thinking.
Yeah, question our thinking, I guess. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I hope you will deliberate on the fear itself or the insecurity. Do we want to do like that? Is that how I want to live? Oh, come on. Let's question that this weekend. And yeah, meet again next Saturday. If you think yes, you want to just chuck it off and look at the life in a totally different way. Thank you. Good night. Have a nice weekend and a nice week and stay safe and let's meet again on.
Thank you so much, Ratish and Aditi. Thank you for all your precious time and opening our minds. Opening our
so
closed
much.
minds.
Okay. Thanks. Sangeeta, can you, I've